There was a time when buying a vehicle below 1 million pesos meant having to put up with a boring subcompact sedan. Fortunately, that's not the case anymore. Presenting the refreshed Chery Tiggo 5X. The Tiggo 5X is Chery's subcompact crossover, but as you'll see in this video, there's really nothing subcompact about its size and features. Up front, you get projector-type headlights which are 4 times brighter than regular halogens. You also get LED DRLs and what they call a crouching tiger grille. Now, at first I couldn't see why they called it a crouching tiger until I saw this thing in the rearview mirror and I said to myself, oh yeah, I do see the resemblance. I also want to point out that this color is gorgeous. It looks even better under the sun, which unfortunately isn't here today. Along the side, you get a rising belt line and character lines in all the right places. What you don't get is a quarter glass window, which makes the Tiggo 5X look a lot smaller than it actually is. You also get load-bearing roof rails, and the Tiggo 5X rolls on 17-inch wheels with 4-wheel disc brakes. This also comes with power folding side mirrors with repeaters. Now at the back, you get these gorgeous taillights that flow nicely with the rest of the car's design elements. You also get rear fog lamps and a nicely integrated spoiler. Now opening this trunk reveals 340 liters of cargo space. You can fold these seats down if you need more room. And it's also worth noting that this has a tonneau cover to keep your belongings safe from prying eyes. Now it's time to check out the interior, but before we do that, I want to switch the car on to get the AC working before I step in. To get a crossover at this price point is already a treat, but to get one with an interior like this is simply astounding. This ticks all the boxes when it comes to space, features, and build quality. The materials used here don't fall short of being exquisite. You get a leather padded dashboard and soft touch materials on all touch points. There are also chrome accents and different textures to break the monotony. You also get faux leather seats, which are extremely comfortable, and the bolstering is just spot on. They're also power adjustable, which is really hard to come by, especially at this price point. You also get a fully digital instrument cluster, which is one of the biggest in its class. It also displays useful information such as your tire pressure and temperature, fuel mileage information, and even the radio station you're tuned into. The infotainment system comes in the form of this 9-inch touchscreen. Now it does have Apple CarPlay, but it doesn't have Android Auto, although it has MirrorLink. It also has a reverse camera with active guidelines, and it's one of the best in class when it comes to the quality of the resolution. Now the climate control system isn't fully automatic, but I love the fact that it has physical knobs and buttons, which you can also control via the touchscreen if you want to. In terms of storage, you get 2 cup holders which can be neatly tucked away using the slider, an armrest with a cubby underneath, a storage tray in the center console that also has 2 USB ports and a 12-volt socket, not to mention bottle holders on both doors. Other niceties include push-button start, an electronic park brake, and, last but not least, a sunroof. But all the good stuff isn't just confined to the front, because sitting at the back, you'll find that there's heaps of room. It really doesn't feel like a subcompact in terms of the head and legroom that you get back there. Now you don't get a center armrest, but you do get rear air vents, which is a rarity in this class. So under the hood of the Chery Tiggo 5X, you get a naturally aspirated 1.5-liter engine that produces 114 horsepower and 141 Nm of torque. This has made it to a CVT. Now, the CVT does a really good job in emulating a regular automatic because it has simulated gears. However, as far as power delivery is concerned, it will require a bit of throttle input to get this thing off the line, especially when at an incline. But that's not to say that power is inadequate. In fact, there's more than enough of it for something this big. Now, the choice to go with a CVT was probably due to the fact that they wanted to optimize fuel efficiency. And as far as fuel efficiency is concerned, you can get about 8 kilometers per liter in heavy traffic in this thing. Then when you take this out on the highway, you can get about 16 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good for a crossover. Now, the steering in this thing is extremely light. In fact, it's one of the lightest in its class. But the good thing about it is it doesn't totally feel disconnected. You can still feel the rubber on the asphalt, if you catch my drift. And the steering ratio is actually pretty good as well. The best part is, this is a breeze to drive, especially when maneuvering in tight spaces. Now, in terms of suspension, this comes with McPherson struts at the front and a torsion beam at the back, which is typical for any subcompact, be it a crossover or a sedan. But the ride here is definitely not jarring. It leans more towards the stiff side, but the suspension overall is still fairly compliant. The best part is there's hardly any body roll around the bends, so you can take turns at speed with some confidence. When it comes to NVH, there aren't any issues as far as wind or tire noise is concerned, especially when driving in the city. And I hardly hear any creaks or rattles. In fact, I don't hear anything at all. With all things considered, the Chery Tiggo 5X provides an extremely pleasant driving experience. Now, when you factor in that you didn't pay more than ₱1,000,000 for it, there really isn't anything more you could ask for. The Chery Tiggo 5X can be yours for only 970,000 pesos. Now, not only are you getting a crossover for the size of a subcompact sedan, you're getting one that's loaded with heaps of features and decent performance. But on top of that, you also get Chery's unbeatable 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and a 10-year or 1,000,000-kilometer warranty on the engine, not to mention 3 years of free PMS and roadside assistance. So if you're in the market for a vehicle that's less than ₱1,000,000 pesos, this is hard to beat when it comes to value for money and peace of mind.